haja yetu kuu kama kundi, vile tumeeleza kinagaubaga, ni uchumi na hali ya maisha ya wananchi katika eneo la magharibi mwa Kenya.
Right, and we want to talk a bit about that particular issue that has, of course, everyone in the country talking about. And I'm now joined live in studio by Felix Okatch, who is a multilateral trade expert. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Well, they've said no thank you. But first I want to hear, what is your take about this particular deal? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Are you concerned?
Let me start it this way. As a multilateral trade expert, normally when I'm talking about trade, you've got to get the statistics and any agreements in place. Uganda, like COMESA, and other countries are within the Kenya COMESA region. And then there have been safeguard measures which were put through that the Kenyan sugar can get into Kenya.
Yes.
Now, it was not Uganda per se, but it was COMESA. The issue here is that I wish people we looked at what are the statistics, what are the trade matters as they're supposed to go. Of course, the visit to Uganda, there was Chamber of Commerce. And Chamber of Commerce signed an agreement with the Chamber of Commerce in Uganda, which was mentioned yesterday. And Chamber of Commerce represent businessmen. But the government do not trade. International, the government does not trade. Government comes with the regulations. It's only the regulations of trade. So in case of, in this scenario, the trade regulations here, we are in the COMESA area, we are in the WTO, we are in the FTA, free trading area. All these aspects are in place. So with this kind of issue, the business community from Kenya and Uganda were striking a deal. And in any case, the trade between Kenya and Uganda is in Kenya's favor. Kenya exports goods worth 60 billion annually to Uganda. From Uganda, only 70 billion coming in. That's one. Two, the historical relationship between Kenya and Uganda is been years. Even people like us talking here. By the way, I went to high school in Uganda because my late father used to be a station master during the secondary days. So it would be better that we sit down and say, what are the issues?
Right.
Of course, presently, what's ailing the sugar sector, about 12 factories, what's ailing the sugar sector is to do with production and paying the farmers. It's not that there's excess sugar. No.
All right.
Yes.
But then, so basically, you know, when we come to the basics, do you think that this move will negatively affect the sugar industry in Kenya? Let
me put it this way. When I start looking at statistics, the year 2014, sugar production in Kenya was about 532,000 tons. And we imported 192,000 tons, which means there's a shortfall. At any one time, there's a shortfall.
There's a shortfall,
isn't it?
All right.
Now, the shortfall we've been getting from the COMESA area, the bulk of it has been coming from Egypt. But it's not direct from Egypt. There's a thought from other sources that Egypt gets sugar from another place, but then they change classification or rule of origin. It's harmonized system code. Then out of that they would indicate that it's from Egypt, yet it's not from Egypt.
Then,
Yeah, that's the scenario.
All right.
But in the case of Uganda, even if you're talking the sugar from Uganda, it's not much. Of course, the factories, they've got factories in Lugazi, Kawolo, Kakira, and all that. But they're not producing so much that it affects Kenyan market.
So the sugar imports that we're talking about will actually come to sort of like add on to what our local industries may be able to get?
We are not producing enough over the years.
All right.
Right? Problems with our factories, and we should address production side, not what's coming in. Because even if Uganda, nothing comes from Uganda, it will still come from outside.
All right.
You get the point?
Yeah, and you know, you mentioned about the COMESA safeguards, and I'd like us to discuss just a bit of that. And you know, it talks about different companies using what they have locally before even going out of their boundaries. Are we looking at a situation where Uganda would be able to just give us just a little bit, you know, because of those limitations from the COMESA safeguards?
Put it this way: Kenya, Uganda, Egypt, Mauritius are all in the COMESA arrangement, right? In this trade arrangement, they've agreed that some goods can go easily within the neighboring countries. From Kenya, things like manufactured products, also they get to Uganda and Tanzania, Zambia, Rwanda easily. Do you understand that? Now, somehow Uganda says that in course of this agreement, we also some extra sugar. Can you occasionally buy some sugar from us? Isn't it? Which they said, okay, the government will not buy the sugar, they'll put safeguard measures. All right, that within the commercial safeguard arrangement, you also bring this portion, which is not much. But you are putting more politics into it than the business. Because as it is, we are not producing enough.
All right, and what will it take for us to produce? Do you think there's a point where it will come and we'll be able to produce enough for our use?
I put it this way. thank God I've been a sugarcane farmer before. Actually, the farmers, sugarcane farmers, are suffering a lot. They work a lot, produce it, get to the factory. Some are not even paid for a while, for a long time. That's stage one. Two, the inputs are not coming in as expected in time. And there's much more politics. So much so that even in appointments, I know of another sugar factory where every time a government changes place, a crony of some of the politicians becomes the chairman or the chief guy.
Yes.
So it is a management we need to look into, not making noise on a small item. But as far as Kenya is concerned, a trading nation, our biggest trading partner is Uganda. Nowhere else. Not even Britain, not even Europe. It's Uganda. Yes.
All right.
And also Uganda, apart from us exporting more to Uganda, they're also doing business with us.
Exactly.
For example, in Kenya, most of our students go to school in Uganda. Education in Uganda. That's trading services.
Okay.
So look at all these aspects, major trading partner. But this visit, I think we are making more noise out of it.
So it's
but
more
the government,
noise.
put it this way, the government does not trade.
All right.
The government only comes with regulations. The traders are members of the chambers of commerce, who are there and negotiated.
And then negotiated. Oh, thank you very much, Felix Okatch.
And by the way, there were many issues they were discussing with in Uganda. There were issues of investment, the railway, the energy, the whole lot. It's not that sugar.
So it was just the sugar was just one of the issues.
Thing, and then we pick it out
of
proportion.
We politicize it.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Felix Okatch. Okatch, I beg your pardon. He is, of course, a multilateral trade expert. You know, joining us and giving us his insights on this latest row that is, of course, as a result of the sugar deal that we are all talking about.